Have you ever wondered why American cars from the 60s still turn heads as if time has stood still? When the lines were elegant, the chrome sparkled like jewels, and every V8 engine roared with personality. Today, I bring you the second part of this visual journey through the most beautiful American classics of the 60s, models that not only defined an era, but still make hearts race to this very day. Now I want to know, which of these classics would earn a place in your dream garage? Drop your answer in the comments below, because every story you share helps enrich this community of true classic car lovers. And if you're as passionate as we are about retro design, timeless luxury, and American power, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because here, we don't just talk about cars, we live them. 1964, Ford Thunderbird Landau. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. It's 1964. The world is vibrating to the sound of the Beatles. Television is still black and white, but America's streets shine under the sun thanks to these steel sculptures rolling by. And there, gliding with almost hypnotic elegance, comes the 1964 Ford Thunderbird Landau, a machine built not just to be driven, but to be admired. The Thunderbird had already become a legend since its debut in 1955, but by its fourth generation, Ford decided to elevate luxury to an entirely new level. The Landau model introduced a special touch that set it apart from anything else on the road: a vinyl-covered roof, accented by a graceful S-shaped rear pillar, the iconic Landau roof that added a level of distinction reserved for those who truly understood style. Beneath that long hood sat a robust 390 cubic inches V8 engine, delivering 300 horsepower and enough torque to move its more than 2 tons of weight with almost magical smoothness. It wasn't built for racing, of course, but it could still top 115 miles per hour, gliding effortlessly down long highways while the driver barely noticed any imperfections in the pavement. But the true masterpiece was the interior. The wraparound dashboard, clearly inspired by a jet cockpit, offered a driving experience unlike any other. Everything was driver-oriented, from the controls to the deep blue backlit gauges. Individual leather-trimmed seats with armrests invited long, effortless road trips. It felt like flying, just inches off the ground. A fascinating detail: Ford offered an option called the swing-away steering wheel, which would swing to the side when the car was turned off, making it easier for the driver to enter and exit. Pure American ingenuity with a touch of showmanship. In 1964, Ford produced approximately 60,552 units of the Thunderbird Landau, solidifying its place as one of the most desirable luxury coupes on the market. Today, finding one in pristine condition can cost between $30,000 and $55,000, depending on the level of restoration and originality. 1966, Lincoln Continental Coupe. There are cars that need no introduction. Just seeing them makes your heart beat a little faster, your breath catch for a second, and your mind travel back to another era. That's exactly the effect of the 1966 Lincoln Continental Coupe. We're not talking about just any luxury car. We're talking about an absolute symbol of power, elegance, and timeless design. In the very heart of the 1960s, as the world balanced between accelerating modernity and the weight of tradition, Lincoln found the perfect formula: a car that represented understated luxury, class that didn't need to shout, but commanded the scene simply by existing. The 1966 Continental Coupe kept the iconic suicide doors, that unmistakable feature that turned every entrance or exit into a ceremonial act. How many cars can turn something so ordinary into a spectacle of elegance? Very few. Beneath its enormous hood sat a massive 462 cubic inches V8, capable of delivering around 340 horsepower and a monstrous amount of torque that moved its 5,300 pounds with absolute smoothness. Its top speed exceeded 120 miles per hour, but no one bought a Continental to race. It was made to float over the asphalt, to provide an experience that only a few could afford, the sensation of ruling the road. The coupe's interior was a sanctuary of American luxury. The wide, plush leather seats felt like private lounge armchairs. Real wood trim, electric controls, chrome finishes. Everything was designed to surround the driver and passengers in a bubble of absolute refinement. Even the climate control system, innovative for its time, allowed for surprisingly precise temperature adjustments. Here's a little-known fact. This model was one of the last great Lincolns designed under Elwood Engel's less is more philosophy, before the excesses of chrome and ornamentation took over American luxury cars in the 1970s. That's why its design still feels modern even today. In 1966, Lincoln produced around 15,766 units of the Continental Coupe, making it a relatively rare model in the Continental series of that decade. Today, a well-preserved example can cost between $40,000 and $75,000, with fully restored showpieces often fetching even higher prices at collector auctions. 1966, Cadillac Fleetwood 60 Special Brougham. If there were a visual definition of what absolute American luxury looked like during the 1960s, it would undoubtedly bear the name Cadillac Fleetwood 60 Special Brougham of 1966. This was not just a car, it was a rolling salon, a silent statement of status, power, and sophistication. Anyone driving a Fleetwood didn't need to explain themselves. The car spoke for itself. At that time, Cadillac represented the pinnacle of automotive prestige in the United States. Every line, every inch of chrome, every texture in the interior was meticulously designed to convey effortless grandeur. The 60 Special Brougham stood at the very top of the lineup, reserved for those who wanted nothing but the absolute best. Its exterior design was pure balance. Long, elegant straight lines stretching over 19 feet. The vinyl-covered roof, the chrome moldings tracing the sides, and the subtle golden accents on the Fleetwood emblems made it unmistakably distinguished. Even at rest, it seemed to glide forward. Under the hood rested a massive 429 cubic inch V8 producing around 340 horsepower and over 480 pound-feet of torque. It wasn't built for pure speed, though it easily surpassed 120 miles per hour. It was built for linear, smooth, effortless acceleration, as if physics simply obeyed its will. It was truly a flagship vessel of the highway. But where the Brougham truly shined was inside. The seats were upholstered in luxurious Medici cloth combined with leather. Rear armrests featured independent electric controls, illuminated ashtrays, and thick carpeting that resembled a five-star hotel suite. Every element was crafted for absolute comfort. It even included ambient lighting and an automatic heating system, both advanced technologies for its time. Here's a fascinating fact. The 1966 Fleetwood 60 Special Brougham came standard with a soft close automatic door system, a feature many high-end cars today still present as innovation. Cadillac offered it nearly 6 decades ago. In 1966, approximately 13,630 units of the 60 Special Brougham were produced, making it a relatively exclusive model. Today, its price ranges from $35,000 to $70,000, depending on condition and originality, though concours-level examples can easily surpass these figures. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had the privilege of seeing, touching, or even riding in a Cadillac like this? Share your story, your memory, or your dream with us. 1962 Buick Electra 225. Some cars don't need to accelerate to be imposing. Their mere presence on the road is enough to capture every gaze like rolling monuments. And in the 1960s, few vehicles embodied that philosophy more perfectly than the 1962 Buick Electra 225, or as it was affectionately nicknamed, the Deuce and a Quarter, referring to its more than 225 inches in length. Yes, over 19 feet of American elegance gliding effortlessly down the asphalt. The Electra 225 was Buick's flagship, the car for those who sought luxury, class, and that commanding sense of absolute control over the highway. Its 1962 design struck the perfect balance between the chrome excess of the 1950s and the refined elegance that would dominate the following decade. Smooth lines, clean sides, dual headlights up front, and a grille that seemed to smile with confidence. Long, low, and wide, its proportions radiated authority without the need for aggression. Under that seemingly endless hood rested a powerful 401 cubic inch nailhead V8, capable of producing 325 horsepower and an impressive 450 pound-feet of torque. Though not built for racing, it could reach speeds near 120 miles per hour, gliding with an almost surreal smoothness, thanks to its floating suspension and the famed Dynaflow automatic transmission, known for its seamless, continuous acceleration without the abrupt gear changes typical of other vehicles. The interior of the Electra 225 was a sanctuary of comfort. Sofa-like seats upholstered in luxurious vinyl or fabrics allowed passengers to travel for hours, as if they were relaxing in a living room. Chrome accents, decorative wood paneling, a large diameter steering wheel, and a wide, clear instrument cluster were all designed to surround the driver and passengers in pure refinement. A fun fact, due to its size, some also nicknamed it the aircraft carrier of the highway. It was not uncommon to see entire families traveling across America in an Electra during long road trips, where comfort and space were the ultimate luxuries. In 1962, Buick produced approximately 45,056 units of the Electra 225 in coupe and convertible versions, making it a highly sought-after classic among full-size American car collectors today. An example in excellent condition can fetch between $30,000 and $60,000, with Concours level restorations easily exceeding those figures. 1969 Imperial LeBaron. When one thinks of American luxury in the late 1960s, names like Cadillac or Lincoln immediately come to mind. But those who truly know automotive history are aware that there was a third player, quieter yet equally majestic, the 1969 Imperial LeBaron. This car not only represented the pinnacle of Chrysler's lineup, but also the swan song of a glorious era before the oil crisis forever changed the automotive industry. Unlike its competitors, Imperial operated almost as an independent brand within Chrysler, with its own unique character and exclusive design. And the 1969 LeBaron was its highest expression of luxury and sophistication. A steel sculpture stretching over 19 feet long, with clean lines, monumental proportions, and meticulously placed chrome details, exuding power without becoming ostentatious. Beneath its enormous hood sat one of the most impressive engines of its time, the 440 cubic inch V8, capable of producing 350 horsepower and over 480 pound-feet of torque. Even though its weight easily exceeded 5,000 pounds, this giant was surprisingly agile for its size, reaching speeds close to 125 miles per hour, always maintaining that signature floating ride typical of large American sedans. The LeBaron's interior was a true private lounge on wheels, armchair-style seats with electric adjustments, individual armrests, high-quality velvet or leather upholstery, and a dashboard that blended technology with sober, refined design. Everything, from the automatic climate control to the power window and lock controls, was designed so the driver and passengers could travel in absolute comfort. An interesting and little-known fact, the 1969 Imperial featured the renowned Pt.2 system, one of the first truly effective automatic climate controls in the industry. In addition, its frameless front-side windows, which seemed to disappear when lowered, added a sense of openness and modernity. In 1969, approximately 15,367 LeBaron units were produced, making it a relatively rare model even in its own time. Today, finding one well-preserved is a true treasure for collectors, with prices ranging from $30,000 to $60,000, depending on condition and originality. 1969, Chevrolet El Camino. At a time when cars seemed to have very defined roles, you were either a sports car, a utility vehicle, or a luxury sedan. There was one model that completely broke those rules, challenging all the established categories. Thus was born the 1969 Chevrolet El Camino, a unique creation, half car, half truck, but entirely irresistible for lovers of the unconventional. The El Camino embodied the free spirit of the late 1960s. Why choose between the comfort of a coupe and the utility of a pickup when you could have both in a single vehicle? Chevrolet understood that desire and offered the public a bold design that blended the best of both worlds: the elegance of a personal luxury car up front and the functionality of a cargo bed in the back. In its 1969 version, the El Camino featured an aggressive front inherited from the Chevelle, with muscular lines, dual headlights, and a wide grille that seemed ready to devour miles of asphalt. The side profile was clean yet robust, while the chrome accents highlighted its dual nature: elegant enough to park in front of a luxury restaurant, yet sturdy enough to haul cargo when needed. Under the hood, the El Camino offered a wide variety of engines, but one of the most attractive was the 350 cubic inch V8, which delivered around 300 horsepower and generous torque that pushed confidently across any terrain. Although some special versions could be equipped with even more powerful engines, this configuration offered a perfect balance for both daily use and long trips. The top speed exceeded 115 miles per hour, but the real joy came from the sense of complete control over such a unique machine. An interesting fact: for years, the El Camino was the subject of debate among purists. Is it a car? Is it a truck? Is it a muscle car? The truth is that the El Camino is simply an icon in its own right, inimitable, and precisely for that reason, it remains highly coveted by discerning collectors. In 1969, Chevrolet produced approximately 48,385 units of the El Camino, solidifying its commercial and cultural success. Today, finding an El Camino in excellent condition can cost between $25,000 and $50,000, though factory-spec restored examples can fetch much higher figures at specialized auctions. And now, I ask you directly, do you see the El Camino more as a car or as a truck? Would you include it in your dream classic car collection? Share your opinion in the comments. 1963, Ford Galaxie 500 XL. If there was ever a car that embodied the perfect fusion between a classic American elegance and a subtle whisper of sportiness, it was undoubtedly the 1963 Ford Galaxie 500 XL. At a time when American cars were huge and ostentatious, the Galaxie 500 XL presented itself as a refined, powerful, and visually balanced alternative. It didn't need to exaggerate to command respect. The name Galaxie itself evoked grandeur and modernity. In the midst of the space age, Ford used it to project the spirit of an America reaching for the stars while dominating its highways. And within the lineup, the 500 XL was the ultimate expression of sporty luxury. The XL stood for extra luxury, but also hinted at performance. Visually, the 1963 model further refined the Galaxie's lines. Its low profile, smooth edges, long and elegant sides, and straight-line box-top, hardtop roof gave it a distinguished presence. Up front, the dual round headlights flanked a floating chrome grille, while the rear featured unmistakable round taillights that would become a design signature for years. Under the hood, the Galaxie 500 XL could be equipped with various V8 engines, but one of the most desirable was the 390 cubic inch V8, capable of delivering 330 horsepower and 579 Newton meters of torque. This engine allowed the Galaxie to surpass 120 miles per hour, accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 8 seconds. Quite respectable figures for a full-size car of the era. Inside is where the XL truly shined. Individual bucket seats covered in shiny vinyl, a full-length center console, short-throw shifter, horizontal dashboard with rounded gauges, and brushed aluminum trim gave the driver the sensation of commanding something special. It was luxury with attitude. An interesting fact, the Galaxie 500 XL was one of Ford's most successful models on the NASCAR tracks during the early 1960s, thanks to its aerodynamic lines and mechanical robustness, proving that elegance was not at odds with speed. In 1963, Ford produced approximately 134,000 units of the Galaxie 500 XL across its various coupe and convertible configurations. Today, a well-preserved example can cost between $25,000 and $50,000, depending on condition and engine configuration, while factory-spec restored convertibles can easily fetch much higher prices. 1968, Mercury Park Lane. In the 1960s, when America's streets were ruled by steel giants, every brand sought its own language of luxury. Cadillac embodied majesty, Lincoln offered presidential refinement, but Mercury took a different approach, a blend of understated distinction with imposing presence, and the 1968 Park Lane was its ultimate expression of that philosophy. The Mercury Park Lane sat at the top of the brand's lineup, positioned as the elegant and muscular sibling within Ford's family. Its 1968 design was pure automotive art of the era, long, low, and wide, with fluid lines that seemed sculpted by the wind. The wide grille with horizontal chrome bars gave it a powerful face, while the rear, with its elongated taillights and wraparound bumpers, created an unmistakable silhouette as it disappeared into the horizon. But what truly captivated was its street presence. It didn't shout with exaggerated fins or overloaded trim. The Park Lane commanded respect with pure elegance, like someone entering a room wearing a perfectly tailored dark suit. Under the hood, the Park Lane did not disappoint. It was available with several V8 engines, but the most coveted was the 428 cubic inch V8, delivering a solid 345 horsepower and 651 Newton-meters of torque. Thanks to its select shift automatic transmission, this giant glided smoothly while concealing power that could easily push it past 118 miles per hour if the driver dared to press the accelerator. An interesting fact, the 1968 Park Lane was one of the last Mercury models to offer vent windows, those small triangular front windows that could be opened to ventilate the cabin naturally, something that would soon disappear with the advancement of air conditioning systems. That year, Mercury produced approximately 15,000 units of the Park Lane, making it a rarer collector's piece today compared to its more popular rivals. Its scarcity makes it even more desirable among true connoisseurs of full-size American luxury cars. A well-preserved example can currently sell for between $25,000 and $50,000, though concours-level restorations can easily exceed those figures. 1969, AMC Ambassador SST. In the vast world of 1960s American automobiles, dominated by the usual names, Cadillac, Lincoln, Ford, Chevrolet, there was a brand playing its own game, American Motors Corporation, or simply AMC. And within its lineup, the 1969 Ambassador SST stood out as a quiet jewel, the alternative luxury for those seeking something different, refined, but without falling into ostentatious excess. The Ambassador SST was AMC's top-of-the-line model, from a brand that always had to be creative to compete with the giants. What it lacked in budget, it made up for with originality, smart design, and a value-for-money proposition that appealed to buyers who wanted elegance, but also exclusivity. Visually, the 1969 Ambassador looked solid, modern, and understated. Its lines were clean, proportions perfectly balanced, and the chrome details, though present, didn't overwhelm the bodywork. The front featured a wide, elegant grille flanked by dual headlights, while the rear offered a clean design with horizontal taillights and a chrome trim spanning the entire trunk lid. It was a car that projected class without the need to shout it. Under the hood, the Ambassador SST was available with several engines, but the most interesting for those seeking both luxury and power was the 390 cubic inch V8, delivering around 315 horsepower and 576 Newton meters of torque. With this engine, the Ambassador not only cruised with total smoothness, but could also reach speeds near 118 miles per hour, proving that luxury didn't have to mean slow. A curious fact, AMC consistently offered fully equipped luxury packages at competitive prices. In many ways, the Ambassador SST provided features comparable to a Lincoln or Cadillac, but at a fraction of the cost. This made it a very smart choice for young executives or families seeking distinction without compromising their finances. In 1969, approximately 21,287 units of the Ambassador SST were produced. Today, a well-preserved example can be found for between $20,000 and $40,000, although fully restored show-quality units can easily exceed those amounts. And now I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think these forgotten AMC classics deserve much more recognition? Share your opinion in the comments. 1968 Chrysler Newport. Sometimes, true luxury is not found in ostentation or excess, but rather in striking the perfect balance between elegance, restraint, and presence. That was precisely the role played by the 1968 Chrysler Newport, a car that offered the taste of American luxury without draining your wallet. The Newport was the ideal example of what Americans called affordable luxury. Luxury within reach, yet with all the presence and class one expects from a great Detroit sedan. In the golden era of steel giants, the Newport presented itself with majestic proportions, over 18 feet in length, a broad, muscular body, and a design that blended straight lines with smooth curves in just the right places. The wide, horizontal grille, flanked by seamlessly integrated quad headlights, gave it an elegant face, while the extensive use of chrome enhanced its presence without falling into excess. Under the hood, the Newport offered several engine options, but the most popular was the 383 cubic inch V8, delivering around 330 horsepower and a generous 576 Newton meters of torque. Paired with a 3-speed TorqueFlite automatic transmission, this powertrain ensured a smooth, refined ride with the ability to easily surpass 118 miles per hour. A curious fact, in 1968, Chrysler made a bold move toward safety, incorporating as standard equipment front self-adjusting brakes, 3-point seat belts, and an interior design focused on minimizing injuries in case of an accident. It was luxury that allowed you to travel not only in style, but also with greater safety. Quite innovative for the time. In 1968, approximately 84,500 units of the Chrysler Newport were produced, available in sedan, coupe, and convertible versions. Today, finding a well-preserved example is relatively more accessible than other major classics of the era, with prices ranging from $15,000 to $35,000, depending on the configuration and restoration level. And with that, we wrap up this latest journey through the most beautiful American classics of the 1960s. Each of these cars is much more than just metal and engine. They are stories, emotions, and reflections of a time when design and personality were everything. But now, it's your turn. Tell me in the comments which of these models stole your heart, which one you'd love to own, or which one brings back a special memory for you. Your opinion is not only important, it's what keeps this passion alive and builds this community of true American classic car enthusiasts. And if this video made you travel back in time If you felt that spark of nostalgia, give us a like. It's the best fuel to keep bringing you more content like this. Subscribe now and activate the notification bell, because here, classics never go out of style, and there's always another model waiting to be told. And if you haven't seen the first part of this series yet, where we explore 10 other legendary models from the 1960s, check it out here. Believe me, you won't want to miss these true gems on wheels. Click and continue the journey with us.